Live, live, boom. I'm live again. 7 times now. This is the 7th. I look older. I like it. I look way older. I like it. Okay. Episode 7 at Wizard Falafadorf. Welcome to the channel. How many viewers so far? 0. And we're going to have 0 the whole time. But I had to log on today because I haven't. I think I missed last week. I did miss last week. And I'm jacked up. I just had a meeting, unplanned, unorganized. I was stressed over this for a week. What do I do? I don't know what to do. What am I supposed to build this? I'm supposed to build a client load for somebody. I had no idea how to do it. I didn't know who to give them. I just was like, oh no, I'm panicking. I'll wait till the last minute. And then at the last minute, I didn't do it. So I over caffeinated this morning, Zip Fizz, followed by a coffee, Starbucks with the person, get a coffee there, of course. Zip Fizz, coffee. Then I'm jacked. I spilt my coffee on my leg, all over the counter. And I spilt it again on my phone and the laptop, just cluttered, boom, boom, boom. And then started rolling, making it up as I go. Act as if. That's a book. You should read it. Act as if. I did. I acted as if I knew and I planned it. And it went smoothly. It went smoothly. Organized. I didn't know how many hours I was even going to give them. It came out to exactly how many hours they wanted to do. I mean, it worked out tremendously. Tremendously. It was well played by the universe. Thank you, Holy One. Dear God. I mean, the universe, life, existence, the ether just folded this in just the most beautiful blanket. Now, my over caffeinated persona mixed with a high energy individual probably gave the universe a little laughter at me. I mean, the universe was probably like, this dude is silly. I'm watching this play that I knew was going to come together magnificently. But the main person, which is me, because we're the main person in all our plays, but me as the main person in this play of life came over prepared without preparing. By over prepared, I mean too much energy, not actual preparation. Over prepared, energy wise, into the moment. The lines were given, the story was cast, the script is already known, and then I just wailed through it, and life just had a little gander at that. You are so goofy. And those are the moments where I recognize the beauty of existence. And I could have just spent more time relaxing in my meditation silence, which I did. I mean, there are many hours of this last week where it's like, I should probably do what I'm stressing over getting done. But this is my only hour and 10 minutes to sit in silence and meditate. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to sit there and do nothing for an hour and 10 minutes while I'm stressing over what I could get done. And I might have had it really goodly done in an hour and 10 minutes, but I didn't. The windows of opportunity, which weren't a lot, but the windows of opportunity that were there, instead of working, I chose nothing. I did nothingness over workingness. I sat and tried to empty my mind of nothing instead of doing what I was thinking about. And then again, it came together. It was glorious. It was a glorious play that the universe did on me. And then I came stressed out and overly anxious, which again, the existence of life, God, heavens, ether, whatever you want to call it, that existence probably loved it. It was probably so entertaining, so much stress. And then it's like, dude, this is all laid out. You don't even have to worry about this. You could have just enjoyed those moments of nothingness as opposed to getting overly stressed and then day of trying to drink too much caffeine so you'll talk faster about the stuff you don't even know. You're going to talk faster about stuff that you haven't planned, just let the script of life flow out of you. I mean, don't not show up. I mean, don't sit around and not do anything all day. I mean, it's not like I did nothing, but I did what I was supposed to. I did the next thing. You know what I mean? I didn't like sit there and go, "Oh, I need to plan all this out. This all needs to be set up and pieced together perfectly." No, it was just like, just do the next thing. If the client is the next thing, then go spend time with that client. If making this phone call is the next thing, then go make this phone call. And if there isn't a next thing in line and the next thing that seems right to do is to get a little bit of a meditation in, then just get a little bit of a meditation in and relax. Even if I show up and I'm like trying to put it all together, I mean, and it just doesn't work out, then it just doesn't work out. I mean, I could have planned a bunch. I could have been like, "Oh, you're gonna see this person and this person, and we're gonna set this person up for this many hours, and this is gonna do this." And then when I show up, the day before I show, it's like, "Oh, they moved out of town. Oh, they don't want to do services anymore. Oh, they found somebody else or they have some appeal against me." Whatever it is. And then it could have been like, "Oh, well, I had 6 people for you to meet and 0 of them are going to meet you because they all canceled last minute and don't want to meet anybody of our agency," or whatever you want to call it. That could happen too. So I did show up. I did do the next right thing. I did trust life to some extent. My own personality and persona and control issues came into play and overstressed me out. That's okay. That happens. It happened to me. But sometimes the next right thing was seeing a client. Sometimes the next right thing was getting paperwork. Sometimes the next right thing was sitting in my car for an hour of silence, just doing the next right thing, not zoning out and watching 16 in a row episodes of Seinfeld, which I love that show. Haven't watched it in a long time, but I loved it. And I used to be a TV addict. Truth be told, little perspective of me, TV addiction to a maximum degree. And so I have been there before where I have sat and called out sick to work so then I could just sit on my couch, eat 17 protein bars in a row. Don't do that again. And watch Seinfeld, Law and Order SVU, Law and Order SVU, maybe some news radio, Law and Order SVU all day. When I probably was not too sick to go to work, could have done that, but I didn't. So, yeah, I mean, don't not show up and do nothing. I did something. I met people. I did my job. I just didn't do extra because sometimes extra doesn't work out. Now we're 8 minutes in, and I just rambled about stuff that probably should have been part of the episode, yet it was in the introduction. So I don't know what I'm doing. Falafadorf, Wizard Falafadorf here, the eternal wizard sage of Falafadorf, episode 7, here again. That was a good relay to what this whole show's about, which is that I don't know anything. I'm trying to learn who I am. I'm trying to live honestly, truthfully, and authentic to who I'm supposed to be in this life, bring about this personality, and do this thing. I don't know what that is, but I'm gandering that the more often I sit in silence and do nothing, the more I actually know who I am, or the more my personality, my true inner core personality, vomits out onto the world, which is a good vomit. There are gross vomits. That's a good one, I think. But this whole show is about becoming more honest, truthful, and authentic to ourselves so that we can live the lives we are meant to live. Not get the money that we think we need, not marry the type of person we think we like, and not buy the biggest house we think we want, but to be more of who we are so that we naturally gravitate toward the spouse, the house, the environment, the things that bring us the utmost joy and help us express our joy to the universe. That is what I'm all about. That's what these episodes are all about. I haven't gotten anybody to join in these at all. Zilch, nobody. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to just come out here and be more of myself. If that means talking to myself for 45 minutes, then I'll talk to myself for 40 minutes. I proved this morning that if I have 2 cups of coffee, I need probably some time to talk to myself because the new person who started working for this place, who I think I work for, I don't really know who I work for, honestly. I just live life. But who I work for hired another person who I'm supposed to help train. And I'm pretty sure I was just jacked up. I was spilling coffee twice on my laptop, just doing things, and didn't give them much time to talk. Overpowered them because I didn't release some of that stress. Well, and I overcaffeinated, but I didn't release some of that internal, you know, prowess that I have. Maybe I should have word vomited on this screen first, and then I would have gone in there a little bit less rambunctious. But maybe that's what needed to happen anyway, too. I mean, maybe I'll give you a story, okay? I'm gonna give you a true story that I had with a client, with a person I meet. Teenage human. It's a teenage human I meet. Met up with this teenage human late last week, and they had just were in some kind of online relation thing, which I don't know if I'm 100% in agreement and think that's great, but they were. The person who they were online relating to came back with kind of a nasty, leave me alone, F off type of message with not nice words, not nice ways of saying, I need my space or I'm not that into you and maybe we should stop talking. It was kind of a rude way to say it. So I bantered back and forth with this person I meet, with the human that I relate with. I don't know who that person is on the other side of the interwebs, but as I'm relating to this person, I'm like, well, maybe you should say something nasty back. Maybe you should give them a little nasty message back. Maybe that might spike their interest. Not that you should try to keep them interested in you, but maybe that will spike their interest if you respond similarly to how they engaged. So I used a AI format to write me a not so nice message to another human. They didn't want to send it, thankfully. I don't even want them talking to this person personally, but they didn't want to send it. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna text you this dialogue that got created for me, and I'm gonna emphasize that you should send it to this person, see what happens. When I left that session, I ruminated on this because I told another staff person, a coworker, about what I did. And then I kind of felt like, oh, I don't think they probably didn't think that what I did with that person was the right way of handling that situation. They probably did it in a more professional way. I'm not professional. I do wear a collared shirt, but I'm not professional. And so they probably are more professional in their engagement because we both relate to that client each once a week so that there's a more rounded about of perspectives coming their way to help them become healthier people. My cohort probably is a little more professional and was like, that wasn't nice. So you should just disengage. We disengage from negative people. And I was like, that was negative. You should disengage. Well, I don't want to disengage. Okay, well, then let's engage and let's follow along their lead. Let's go negative then, if that's what they want to play. When I left, and after I had discussed this with my cohort, I kind of felt shameful, a little bit like, I don't know if that was the right thing. Now, am I mildly embarrassed? Do I feel a little bit of awkward and shame in suggesting? Because I sent this message to my coworker. I messaged them this. I was like, hey, look, I told this person to send this message. Read it. What do you think? They were like, whoa, that's not nice. They said some more stuff, but that was the gist of it. Whoa, I wouldn't have done that. So I kind of felt shameful, awkward, a little bit like guilty. Did I do the right thing? Okay, but I ruminate on that. I thought about that for a minute. And I thought, you know what? I don't know. Maybe this is what they needed. Maybe the client that we share, maybe this is what they needed. Maybe they'll read the message later and they'll go, "This is really mean. I don't like I don't like or want to send this type of message to anybody. I don't like these mean messages." Maybe it will click in their brain and they'll go, "What they did to me was actually really mean because I'm reading a message that I got told to send that's not nice. I don't like not nice stuff, and they messaged me not nice stuff. I don't wanna be with not nice people." Maybe that's where their train of thought goes. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not them. I'm not in their head. I'm not in their heart. I'm not in their thinking processes. So I don't know what it's gonna take to get them to realize that this is probably not a healthy person to relate to. So let's disengage from this negativity. Maybe that takes me suggesting to send a negative message that they see how they feel towards negative stuff. To assume that I should only give you positive stuff to help you prove your thinking, because that's my whole gauntlet. That's my whole game is to you to get to watch and understand your thinking so that you can determine the beliefs that guide that thinking. Okay? That's what I'm trying to get at. What are you thinking towards this? And what thinking are you doing that is causing those feelings of disappointment, of detachment, of loneliness? What is causing those to occur? So I don't know. You might need a suggestion of doing something negative to realize in your thinking that what this person does was negative, and you don't want to engage with negativity because you don't want to be negative towards anybody, as opposed to being like, well, I should tell you that you should only hang around positive people. You should only do positive things. That could work too. And that's what my cohort did. So I was on the flip side of that coin. They got to see the right road, and I got to give them the wrong road. Now you have two different directions. Now you have a right and a wrong way, and neither one is right. Really, you want to head to the divine path, the divinity of straightforward, follow life. Do not turn to the right or the left. Follow God. I mean, I think it says that in the Bible many times. Do not turn to the right or the left. Don't do what you think is right or wrong. Okay? Angel on one shoulder, devil on the other. They're both there. Keep going forward. Follow the path of who you are. Again, don't know. So when I ruminated on this, I thought about this myself. I viewed my own thinking towards this and my own feelings that were occurring of shame and guilt and disappointment of what I did. I thought about it more and I evaluated my own thinking, determined maybe this is what they needed. I can't go back in time. All I can do is pray that this gets smoothed out for the good of their life. I pray, literally pray that this, what I did, whether it be good or bad in my eyes, be used for the benefit of them to become more of themselves. That's all I wish for. I don't wish that you do the right thing, because who am I to determine what the right thing is? I don't wish for you to do the wrong thing, because who am I to determine what the wrong thing is? I wish for you to continually do the actions that help you lead to you finding out more of who you are at your innermost being, at the deepest core of your existence, so that you can blossom into the person that you're supposed to be. That's what I care about. And if I have to give you a negative message, because I can't go back in time, I did what I did. It seemed funny to me at the moment. It seemed funny to send it to my coworkers. The feelings occurred later after I thought about what I did, and the thinking led me to go, I feel embarrassed." But after reevaluating that thinking and knowing the past is the past, bury your own freaking dead, bury them and move on. All I have to hope is that what I did gets smoothed out, planned out like it did this morning, planned out by existence, by life, by the heavenly nature of God, gets planned out by the ether and smoothed out to guide you direct you, and keep you on the path of knowing who you are and who you want to be. That's all I care about. So sometimes my faults, sometimes my own mistakes, sometimes my own personal failures, whatever I want to call them, sometimes those are what is needed for the transactions to occur between you and another individual to help them be a better person. I have clients. I say this all the time. I am myself. I think so. I like myself. I I wanted to say love there, and I'm just guess you can rewind time. I love myself. I like who I am. I enjoy who I am. And doesn't mean I don't need to continually work on areas of myself. Doesn't mean that I don't need that hour a day to sit and watch my thinking and determine if I'm doing the right or the wrong thing. I do. I need to do that. I'm continually digging into my inner being. I'm continually trying to figure out who I am. I'm continually trying to evaluate my failures. But I also am myself. And in that moment with that client, I was myself. I didn't try to think like, well, in the field of counseling, I think I'm supposed to tell you the most positive thing to do. No, this seems funny. I can act like a 16-year-old person, teenager. I can get jiggy with it. I can jive the jive and the skibbities, and I'll jive like your friends do and make fun of this person with you. I did that. That's part of my personality. So I engaged in that way. But who am I to say that that wasn't what was supposed to happen? Maybe they were supposed to see me do something negative so that they lean more towards the positive of who they are. Maybe they were supposed to get that message so they could evaluate that they don't like negative stuff. Sometimes our failures, sometimes our trip ups are what cause people to become more of themselves. Sometimes they need that message. Not for me to show up as some like, look at me, I'm got a long beard and I'm a guru. Sometimes they need me to show up and go, oh, I'm did something really stupid. Let me explain it to you. Sometimes people need that. So in interaction with clients, I do these things many times. And sometimes I go too far. I go too far and I get too real and I get too of myself and I'm too jacked up. And I do say something stupid, or maybe say something even mildly mean to a client. Maybe even it's like I'm a little harsh, you know? Maybe I brought too much reality and truth of my opinion into the situation. And what I said was a little harsh. I was a little, abrupt in what I said to them. So I've had to go back with clients many times. I keep scooching down in this chair. I like the scooch factor, but not right now. So I'm trying to sit up real tight. Sometimes after reevaluating what I did and what I said, I've had to go back in a sense. In the next session, I've had to go back to that moment and apologize and say, look, I'm sorry. What I did was kind of rough, or how I said it was hard, or I'm sorry, because who am I to say that that was the wrong thing to do? I need to apologize because I evaluated the way that I interacted in that situation. I evaluated my own thinking and realized that I went too far, or maybe I think that I hurt their feelings. Maybe I didn't. Maybe they walked away and what I said, they were watching a TikTok video in their head when I was engaging in this conversation. Maybe they don't even realize, but in my perspective, I thought that I said something that was mean and hurt their feelings. So I needed to apologize. I cannot tell you how much rapport. I'm using hand gestures here. I need to scoot the camera back so you can see the whole gauntlet of how my hands move in the environment when I talk about things. So I have had to, it sometimes in these apologies, in the engagement of me going, that was mean, that was too far, I need to say I'm sorry to you, or I evaluated this and realized that I was 10 years older than you and I made the same mistake. You're 16 and doing something that's not good for your long-term positivity. I was 26 and did almost an identical thing that was not healthy. But it led me more to who I am. So who am I to say it was the wrong thing? Maybe it was the right thing for you. I am sorry for what I did or what I said or how I interacted with you. Sometimes those moments of my apology are what actually hands again, strengthen. I'm interlocking my finger. Sometimes those engagements, my apology, my throwing my reputation and my vulnerability on the table and saying, look at my shame. I need to acknowledge this with you. I am sorry. That moment, I cannot express to you or explain to you how many times that moment has strengthened rapport with clients, has brought me to levels with clients where now they see me as a confident friend. Now they see me as somebody they can truly trust and confide in. The moment of my apology, not the moment of me giving some extraordinary advice, not the moment of me saying something that's just like, oh my God, that's profound. That's biblical, even. No, it's the moment of me going, look at the feces on my face from my actions. Look at how I fell into a pile of cow dung and now it's on my face. I'm going to show you as I clean off the cow dung on my face. That, sometimes that is the more real interaction. That is the more truthful, the honest, the more authentic interaction. And sometimes that leads a client or a person I engage with and relate with to go, I like you. I trust you. I will now tell you more truthful things. I will now tell you my own lies, or I will express stories that I want to work on because I'm embarrassed that this happened at school. I need to tell you the truth about this. But because you came to me and you were willing to apologize and you were willing to show the the poo poo on your face, and you were willing to go, look at this mess I'm in. Now I want to engage in the messes I'm in. Now I really want to get to work with you. I really want to tell you the truth of who I am because I see the truth now. Those moments, not the profound moments, not the, oh, I read this in a textbook on trauma health, and let me just tell you this and it fixes everything. No, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you just sound like a know it all. And nobody wants to tell their stories of shame and embarrassment and disappointment or depression to a know it all. Oh, your life's perfect? Well, let me tell you how mine's not. So those moments where I'm like, you think you got it good? You think your life's bad? Yeah, I'm going to apologize to you. And I'm supposed to be the one who has it all together. And I'm going to say, look at me. Look at the poop on my face. And then they're like, well, this is a real individual. So again, the failures of what we do, sometimes those are needed. The stupid actions, the responses to tell somebody to respond negatively to a negative person. Sometimes that moment is the moment that causes somebody to go, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be like that. Our shame, our guilt, our failures, our falling on our own faces, those have to be acknowledged. Those vulnerable moments, those have to be put on the table for people because that's what changes people. Sometimes the profound statements settle into somebody's soul. Sometimes the knowledge from a book can be helpful in guiding someone into better actions. Yes, sometimes. Do those moments too. But also be willing to fall on your face. Also be willing to be so authentic that you might be something stupid. Okay? So authentic, so honest, so truthful to who you are that sometimes you're willing to be the stupid one in the group. Because I don't know how my stupidity might play out in somebody's head. I don't know. Maybe somebody needs to see me do something stupid to go, well, I don't want to do that stupid thing anymore. Trying to live a life of perfection. Look at the beautiful wallpaper that is who I am. Don't you want this beautiful wallpaper in your house? Sometimes it's like, get that out of my face. I don't even know how to put up drywall yet. And you want me to put up fancy wallpaper? Get out of my face. No. Sometimes it's like, hey, look at that hole. I kicked that hole in the wall. Let's repair this together through my apology and acknowledging the truthfulness of my mistake. Let us repair this together. And now you know how to repair drywall. Now you know how wallpaper gets put back up. You watched me do it. You watched me kick a hole. You watched me have to replace the drywall and the wallpaper. Now you're more attuned to it. Now you can see the steps of process that it takes to have this fancy drywall in your house. If you just want to show people your fancy drywall and or wallpaper and not the drywall behind it, not the studs that needed to go in, not the hard laborious work that it needed to take. If you just want to go, look at this, I've done it all. So I'm going to tell you how not to do this. No, people are like, to me, that's ugly. To me, that's a comparison game. I want to see your successes, your failures, your stupidities, and your profound moments too. I want to see a whole person, a whole person. And that's what I think helps me, maybe, I don't know, sometimes build rapport with clients. Is like you get to see all of me. You get to see my high and low moments. Sometimes, I mean, yesterday morning, another story, because I got nobody to talk to. So it's just my stories. Yeah, I woke up yesterday in a bit of a kerfuffle, bit of a mood. I don't know if kerfuffle was the right word. Liked it though, so I'm going to use it again. A bit of a kerfuffle, not in a great mood. And I don't know why. Nothing in particular happened. It wasn't like something bad happened. It wasn't like I got bad sleep. It wasn't like I woke up, you know, with a backache. I mean, I just I had this little stress, this little irritation in me, and I couldn't quite pin down what exactly was causing me the sensations of stress and irritation. So I just rolled with it. Just hung out with my kids that morning, engaged with my wife, got ready for work. I just did what I needed to do. And I was so much kind of cattywampus in who I was that day that I got to my first client's house early. And I decided to just park next to a shaded tree on the side of the road, close my eyes, and meditate for 10 minutes. I couldn't decide. I was like, what should I do? Should I pray about this? Should I journal? Like, how do I slough off this emotion? I slough off this cattywampus feeling. How do I do that? And I didn't want to write. I didn't want to pray. I didn't want to listen to a good song. I just wanted to shut it down. So that's what I did. I just shut it down for 10 minutes. Boom. Music off, car off, phone on silence, 10-minute timer, eyes closed, hands crossed, meditate, stop thinking. Feel the sensations, stop thinking, give yourself 10 minutes of utter nothingness. And it helped. It did help. It didn't completely uncattywampus me, but it did kind of like, put a matchbox under at least one of the legs of my dresser drawers and, it started to straighten it out. It started the process of straightening it out by setting everything in life aside for 10 minutes. But when I met this first client, I told them, we got in the car. What do you want to do? Just drive, because they got their permit. I'm letting them learn how to drive. Just drive my car. I'm on map somewhere out into the middle of nowhere and just drive for 50 minutes. And we did. We just drove for 50 minutes to the middle of nowhere. And on the way, it's like, we're just talking. It's like, I'm just going to let you know, like, I just want you to drive. I want to chill out and relax. I got the map set, but I'm in an oomph of a mood today. I just got an oomph in me, and I don't know why. There's no particular reason why I should feel oomphed, but I'm oomphed. So, if I'm a bit upticked on the wit, or if I'm a little short on the punch, a little abrupt, a little quick on the response, I'm going to preemptively let you know that I'm cattywampus today, that my feelings are not perfectly right. I'm a freaking human. I know I don't look like it. I look like a wizard. Wizard Falavador. La, 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 la. Wizard Falavador. But I'm a human. And I'm not going to come to each session like, I've got it all together. I zenned out, and now I'm perfectly zen. Tell me your problems, and I shall give you profound advice to fix them. No, I'm coming to you at them honestly, truthfully, authentically. I'm a human. I'm off today. I don't know why. I woke up oomphed and I don't know why. And I'm going to get this out of the way on the gate because I don't want to be, boom, being reactive or being, pessimistic or whatever, which I don't think I was, but I might be because I'm cattywampus. So I'm going to let you know straight out the gate. I'm cattywampus today. Just letting you know. Maybe you're in a better mood than me. You're the client and I'm going to help you through tough stuff. But just so you know, I showed up today as a human again, unfortunately, but I showed up today as a human again. So I might be a little off. No, not might. I was a little off yesterday. I showed up as a human and I'm off today. You might be in a better mood than me. I've had sessions like that where it's like, I'm not in a great mood today and I can't tell you why. Let's just drive. Let's just chitty chat. You tell me your problems. I'll try to fix them. There are some days where I've had sessions like that, and at the end of the session, I'm like, "You know what? I need to thank you. You helped me today." Okay? I showed up as the counselor, and I left this session with you as the therapist. And I'm gonna be real with you. I showed up oomphed, off today, as a human, relating to you on a human level, on a real level. I'm not feeling great today. Maybe you're the client, but you're feeling better than me. Maybe you woke up in a joyful mood and I'm in a bit of a lower chakra mood. And I show up to counsel you, and then I left with therapeutic advice from you. You therapized me. And then I tell clients this. I tell them at the end of the session, I'm like, I got to thank you today. I am in a more joyful mood. I was able to think through some of my problems, and now I'm gonna engage with my family or these other people I love better because of the therapy session you gave me. And I can't tell you either in that context, okay? An apology and being real about what I need to apologize about is so helpful on building strong rapport with a person. But I tell you what, when I leave a client who I'm counseling and I leave that session telling them, you were my therapist today, you helped me be in a better mood. So before you get out of the car, I'm gonna give you a thank you and a hug. Oh, I cannot tell you how bright some clients I have said that to. How you just, like, see them step out of the car and walk back towards their house or apartment or whatever, and you just see them floating. I mean, they're just glowing. "Bye, see you later." They're just glowing. Their walk is so smooth, it's like, "Are you touching the ground? You might be levitating." Because they walked away and go, "Wow, I can make somebody else feel better. I made my own counselor feel better. I gave them advice that's gonna help them have a better day." That right there is another thing where rapport just becomes, phew. I mean, it just shoots up level 10, just oomph up, levels up. It's like finding a cheat code in a video game. It's like, you become 3 times bigger, and now it's like, "Oh, I can jump over buildings." It and so then they engage more, and they realize that I'm not here to be like, I'm your counselor. I'm here to give you therapeutic advice. And that's how this relationship is. I'm here to interact with you on real things. And I'm here to show up with my own mistakes, with my own stupidities as a real human, with my own funky moods as a real human. And let's realize that this is the context of a relating experience where we're both trying to do better. Sometimes you're going to boost me up. Sometimes I'm going to boost you up. Sometimes we're going to boost each other up. Sometimes we'll be down together. But then the next session, we're going to inch each other up. This is an experience, a relating experience with another human being where we're both trying to change to become more of who we are so we can be happier and better people for the world. Point blank. We are here. I cannot change. I cannot expect you to change to be a better person if I'm not willing to throw my stuff on the table and change with you. I can't ask you to change without changing. This is a dual process. Okay. There are two sides to this coin. Each side has to be different. I can't turn you into a gold coin and stay a nickel. I can't. If I'm going to change you into a gold coin, I better be willing to go along in the gold. I better be willing to become gold with you. We're changing each other. We're sharing life experiences. I am not you. You are not me. Your truths are not necessarily my truths. Your experiences that lead to the way you want to do things are not necessarily similar to my experiences that lead the way I want to do things. I want you to change into gold. Therefore, I must be willing to change into gold with you. This is a dual process. And this is how any good therapist or good counselor probably should do things. Correct me if I'm wrong. And again, sometimes I need to be corrected, but correct me if I'm wrong. If I want you to change and I want you to adapt to a new truth for a better way of living for yourself, then I better be willing to change with it. No advice am I giving that I'm not willing to throw back on my own self. Maybe I'm good at following that advice. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm good sometimes. Maybe I made a mistake yesterday on following my own dang advice. We are changing together. That's why sometimes a best friend can be a better therapist than an actual licensed therapist because they're willing to muck around in the mud of their own stuff with you so that we're crawling out of this mud together. I'm not just here good. Gotta step on that stone. Yeah, hey, you idiot, step on the stone to get out of the mud. No, we're in the mud together. Where do we need to put our feet? There's a stone over there. Let's both try that. I don't care how many years of experience. If you're not willing to change alongside anybody else and to compartmentalize the changes that's needed for all humans to go through better experiences, then you are not truly there with them. Meet them where they're at. Let's meet people where they're at and let's change with them so everybody is better. Whew. Boom. 42 minutes in. I can't believe I just rambled for 42 minutes. I hope you followed me because I didn't follow myself. I'll probably have to watch this again to even figure out what I talked about. But I thank you, zero viewers, zero, for showing up. And that was episode 7. We're going to close out by saying, let's try to be a little bit more real, a little bit more truthful, a little bit more honest about our own mistakes, because maybe the mistake that led to the apology is what was needed for that person to be more of the best version of themselves. I love you. I thank you for engaging, and I hope to see you next Monday for episode 8. I want both hands up here, but I got to end the session, so I'm going to keep one hand. Assume there's another hand that wants to be here. Assume it. Thank you. I love you. Goodbye.